Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome back to another day, day 19 of the Hunting a Monster Until Monster Hunter Wilds releases each day challenge thing. We're back in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate today, and I wanted to get back into doing some deviants and recording some more footage for the video, but I wanted to kind of ease back into it a little bit. So today I am hunting one of my favorite goobers and my first wall in the entire series from Monster Hunter Freedom when I first started playing, Yancutu. I'm going to cut out a little bit of the initial running around that I had to do to find him because he did not seem to want to be found at the start of this quest, and I had to run around for a fair bit until I actually got to him. And then this quest ended up being a bit more of a challenge than I was expecting it to be, not just because of the muscle memory from World Greatsword still being kicked in, and also me needing to get back into the swing of Valor style, but also, more importantly, there is a Bulldrome that shows up like at the midway point of this quest who refuses to leave us alone and causes me more problems than the Yancutu does in this entire fight. So I think, actually, tomorrow, I am going to get revenge and just absolutely bully a Bulldrome. Because this little jerk decided to interrupt this hunt and made it 10 times more difficult for me than it needed to be. You'll see there will be times where I have to dodge out of the way of Bulldrome charging at me right into a oh my god, I almost said Kuliyaku, right into a Yancutu attack, and it is frustrating as hell. He also seemed to just ignore the dung bomb that I threw at him to get him to leave the area, but you know what, whatever. Such is life. We're not here to talk about him today. No, today we're here to talk about Yancutu, who I really like. Yancutu has always been one of my favorite early game monsters. Back in the first game I played, and really the first game in the series, Yancutu is the first real flying wyvern that you meet, and the first kind of like real challenge that they throw at you in the first Monster Hunter game and Monster Hunter Freedom, which again is where I started with. And because of that, I think a lot of people who got started in older generations of Monster Hunter really have a special place in their heart for Yancutu, and I'm definitely one of them. I love this dumb fire chicken. He has surprisingly cool moves, especially after first generation. He starts to get a little bit more varied stuff in his moveset. He will, do the standard flying wyvern, stand still and then spin around and hit you with the tail, which just kind of sucks. He's got this big, dumb, like, flappy charge where he runs at you and knocks you over. But I can't remember if this was added in Monster Hunter 4 or if this was added for this game, Generations Ultimate. It will slam its beak down into the ground, pull out a bug, a Khonshu, which is this, like, pill bug style armored beetle, and it will roll it at you like a bowling ball attack. And I completely forgot this attack existed until this hunt, and it caught me off guard a couple times. In addition to that, he's also got some fireballs, which don't cause too much trouble. They're pretty easy to avoid, pretty slow moving, and they have like kind of a lobbed artillery shell arc, which is easy to kind of get out of the way of. All in all, Cutku is not a particularly hard monster, but it has so much personality, which is, I think, a big reason why it's so beloved by the people who fought it. In addition to, again, the fact that for a lot of people, it was their first wall. For me, I remember the first time I loaded into a quest of a Cutku, and the map that it was on was so low visibility. It was just like dense jungle and foliage, and you had to like constantly move the camera around it just to get a glimpse of where this thing was as it was running around, charging at you, spitting fireballs at you. It was hectic, and I fainted to this thing so many times as a kid that by the time I finally was able to beat it, using probably an unupgraded iron greatsword or bone greatsword, because I didn't really get how the crafting mechanics worked when I first played, I was so excited that I literally like ran around my house with my PSP like, yes, and like did some laps because it was just that amped up like kid excitement. Oh, it was a good time. It was a really good time. I will always love Yancutu in whatever form it takes. And now, before I get into my usual rating of how likely I think it is to return in both Monster Hunter Wilds and later games in the series, I'm going to give a small disclaimer and reminder to everyone that I am currently trying to remain spoiler-free as possible for Monster Hunter Wilds. I did have one singular returning monster accidentally spoiled for me by YouTube thumbnails the day after I started my spoiler-free adventure, and that monster was, of course, Yancutu. I know it's coming back. That is, however, the last thing I saw, so I would appreciate no additional details in the comments. I just know that it's there. I don't know, if they showed off any new moves, or if it is doing anything funky, or if it has a weird variant or anything like that. I just know my boy is returning. So for that reason, 10 out of 10. He's going to be in Wilds. And then I similarly think he's not necessarily a flagship, but he is such a ingrained part of Monster Hunter from the jump that I think, it's a 10 out of 10 that no matter what, eventually we're going to see Yancutu again. Yeah, not much else to say there. So then, last thing that I kind of want to go over today before I wrap up is a little bit of a disclaimer for the coming week. I have been stretching myself a bit thin lately, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, and because of that, I have decided that for this next week, I am going to keep my rambles incredibly short. Essentially, I am, for the videos this week, I'm kind of just going to be saying, hey, here's the monster I'm fighting, here's what I like about it, then, giving my rating, and that's going to be it. I'm not going to put too much effort into trying to force discussion or anything like that, just so I can give myself a little bit of a break, as I need to work on a bunch of other stuff this week that I have been neglecting, including putting some time in on the Deviant video, which I still plan on having out by the end of October. It's shaping up really well so far, so I hope y'all are looking forward to that. Hope y'all understand, and if not, I don't really care. But thank y'all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of the hunt. Stick around to the end if you can. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time, I'll see you next time.